All right, here we go. We're back. And we got parts. Get the girl going again. New feeder chain. Old one. We thought we replaced it not long ago, but there is some sign of wear on it. Anyways, new one. So we got the service truck bringing up. Start the process of feeding that heavy bugger up at the top, and then over the down, and back out the bottom. And then we got to hook the links up, put the tension back on it, go get the header hooked up, and get back to Phil's dad, because he's the sole man in the field right now. So we want this combine running too. Two's a lot better than one. So we got the chain wrapped around the sprockets in the back. So we went up the bottom, over the top, down. I'm turning this ratchet, which is turning the mechanism, gearbox here, drive shaft here, to the gearbox here, which turns the drive sprockets. We got them all the way over, got a rope tied to the end so we can lift it over the top of this drum. Bearings feel good. We gotta loosen the tension up, and then, which will pull this drum back, put the chain on the top, put the links on, tighten it up, put the tension back on it, and we're good to go.
Okay, this is day 6, 7 of our pea harvest, the last day of our pea harvest. We're on the last field, about 200 some acres left. I'm harvesting, the other combine needed a feeder chain. They're putting that together, so it'll get into this field, and we'll knock this field out by this afternoon. Just a couple things was interesting when I was harvesting this field of peas. When we're seeding, we try to figure out what's the best seeding rate for the conditions. That is your fertilizer, or as far as the fertility of the land, the moisture content, what is down in the ground in the subsurface, what's on the top surface, what do you think to expect this year, and there have been other minor things like your growing season, whatever. But for our area, pretty much it's always moisture. It's okay, what's the moisture outlook for the year? If it's going to be lower moisture, we're going to probably say, let's not have a whole lot of plants out there competing against each other and then starving for water. Let's figure out about roughly what it takes to get a certain yield we can expect reasonably, but not overseed. And so I was gonna show you guys coming up here. What happened was, this was the last field of peas we seeded, and I had maybe 25 bushels of seed left of peas in the drill, and I decided that why don't we just seed it over the field, reseed into what's already seeded, and then get rid of it instead of trying to put it somewhere, because it has inoculant on it, which is not poisonous, but it's just trying to handle that few peas, just get rid of it. So right here, as you can see, the lines go that way and the drill rows go that way. I reseeded over that, okay? And when you look at the yield, look at it. It dropped down to 16 when I went over that area that was reseeded, extra seed. And now I'm coming into some just regular, and look, the yield went up. According to that means I should have just dumped the seed in the coulee, in a ditch, let the animals eat it, because it cost us probably up to 3 bushels an acre, because it had too many seeds out seeded in that field. So that's what's important, trying to figure out what is the right seed rate, pounds per acre, that you need to put on for your conditions. And it varies all over. For us, the recommended rate is way too high, generally over the average of years, and so we had cut it back. And that's a proof of the existence that if you seed too many seeds, and you don't get the rain or the inputs that you need, you're going to hurt the yield. And so that's the way this field has been. I seeded probably, I don't know, 10 acres of the field reseeded around, and normally if you would have gotten rain you wouldn't have probably noticed any difference, but this year you do. So we're grateful that we didn't seed the seeding rate they recommend, but we reduced it down through experience to a certain seeding rate, and we get a better yield overall. So I found that fascinating. Just that much difference can make or break your yield.
Just got the chain wrapped around, got the links put in on these two, doing that one. Right, just one more right there. Yeah, we got a steel link off that one, same time at the store. And in the process of all that, we changed out these bolts right here because they were bent. And in trying to take that off using a breaker bar, I annihilated my finger. So there's like tissue coming out and stuff. That's gonna be a lost fingernail for sure. That hurt. It throbs now, but fortunately it's not the pain it was, so at least the color matches the Combine on the shirt. Anyways, that hand's gonna be out of commission for a little while. I still can press buttons with my other fingers though, so we'll be good, but let's get this thing wrapped together and get back in the field. Just got going, just barely pulled in the field, and I noticed it wasn't feeding in the feeder house very well, and I had no indication of it, but I kind of think the shaft might have broke on the drive sprocket for the feeder chain. It seemed tight, I felt it. We used it to crank it over, and it turned and pulled the chain around it. But my feeder house is not pulling product through it, which means the chain's not turning, which means something's slipping somewhere and spinning, and that can only mean that. It's like an $1,100 shaft on top of a $1,800 feeder chain. Let alone the fact we have to take it all apart again. I guess we gotta take the gearbox off. Maybe we can leave the drive sprocket in. We can do that. Oh, the finger is just not feeling very good. That thing is not a happy camper. It squished it really good. Amazing. So, layer up's coming over here. We're gonna investigate, see what's going on. Dad's Combine just had a bearing go out on the refresher, so they gotta take that back, because just like that pulley I changed earlier you guys saw, we had to cut the pulley off. Probably gonna have to do the same thing with that one too, because it's probably fused on there, so they gotta get that off. So they're dropping his header, I think, and then running his Combine back. They're gonna be here in a minute to try to find out what's going on with this feeder house, and I can't do a whole lot because this hand is kind of crippled at the moment. So, farming's fun. It's not for the faint of heart, I'll tell you that right now. Well, we just ran some tests. Everything seems to check out fine. It's everything's spinning, everything seems tight. The beater, rock beater, and the feeder chain turn together and are fixed, so maybe the center draper for some reason wasn't turning. Maybe it had air in the line and it was plugging up there. I don't know, but it's working now, so we're just gonna go with it, because right now we're down to one Combine again. So I'm just gonna harvest, and then they're gonna go fix Dad's Combine, which will probably be a couple hours. I gotta go get a bearing.
You know what happens when you run like 10-year-old combines? Holes start developing, like big holes. Like, I don't think a lot of wheat's gonna stay in here and peas are gonna stay in here. You wanna know why I took it apart? Toasted bearing. It got hot. It started rattling. Little ball bearings were everywhere when I pulled it apart. But, yeah. Okay. Grab this thing, go inside, start to disassemble the whole unit. It's got a little weight to it with a cast iron paddle. There we go. Yeah, I don't think that's any good. What do you guys think? Put some grease in it and run it? I like it. Or leather strap and some oil. It'll run for a while. shoot, that's what they used to have in like the old Model A, Model T, or whatever you want to call it, Fords. They used to actually have leather straps for bearings in the engine. Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. We've come a long way since then. Well, I'm gonna take that apart and we're gonna get 2 bearings, replace both sides, because if one goes, it's a matter of time for the other one to go. All right, back and ready to go. 2 bearings, about hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 18 hours later, we're good to go. Lost track of time, if you can tell. Okay, go have fun.
All right.
By the way, Nick, the shop looks pretty good. It's not bad. It's fairly clean, but it will get dirty later, but for right now, it looks pretty good. Good job, Nick.
As you can see, way out there, the other combine's back. They got it fixed. So they've been going at it strong. We should be able to fit the rest of this into that truck over there. This is the last of the peas right here. Pea Harvest 2024 right here in a books. Just gonna go right there into that truck, into the bin, and then we're gonna go home, get these combines ready for some wheat harvest. So my finger slowly filling this shop rag up with the red stuff. It doesn't feel good. I squished it pretty good. Amazing. So I'll know more when I get home, clean it up, dress it up, but it's gonna be a sore spot for a while.
Well, we're finished with the peas. Just finished up here. We're gonna head back to the shop. Next crop is winter wheat and then spring wheat. We're gonna chew on a little bit of lentils, but they're not looking that great with the drought. But it's nice to be done, although the peas are just an easy crop to cut. They just flow in the combine, hardly any thrashing. So it was a fun pea harvest, and actually they're going to probably do the best of any of the crop proportionally to their the way it's farmed and the price. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next segment. Probably a little interview, and then the winter wheat will happen. So stay tuned or stay connected in a bit. What do you say, Kobe? He's disappointed.
All right, this is it. Last pass of peas 2024. Just barely getting it mostly in the header. When I say mostly, I'd leave it a little strip on each side. I don't care. Not enough there to be worth driving the combine back over, so we're just gonna go with this. Well, peas are done. I'm in the shop. It's well, this is day number 8 of harvest, I think. We didn't do any harvesting yesterday, but I take that back. Dad did a little bit of lentil work. Just kind of working on those lentils. We're getting a few bushels an acre, so we're just going to go ahead and get what we can off them. There's money in that, even though it's just a couple bushels, but we'll turn the rest into insurance. We'll get back where we put into it, so it won't be like a loss, but it won't be the lentil crop you were kind of hoping for. But, you know, it was only 150 acres, not the other world.
Okay, back in the saddle again. We finished the peas a couple days ago, and then I've been turning my attention on lentils. We've got just a few acres, not very many acres of lentils in. As you can see, there only comes up to Kobe's ankles or cankles. Anyway, they're short. In fact, they're really short. And right now, cutting this bottom area, looks like about 3 bushels an acre. I think it'll average 4. Some of it over in the other field average 5. Down at the bottom here, we're a little tougher land, it's probably 0. Yeah, I got hurt pretty bad from the drought. And then also we had a wind that came through a week ago after we had sprayed them. and it blew up to 50, 60 miles an hour out of a thunderstorm, and it shook the plants, and there's pods, lentils on the ground. So it did shatter some, so it would be yielding a little bit more, but it's just drought. I mean, it's probably 6-7 inches high. Some areas is maybe up to 8 to 9. Doesn't give you much room as far as cutting. We've got the platform sitting on the ground. Fortunately, it was rolled with a land roller, pushed most all the stuff down into the ground, so it's fairly flat. But still, it's that sickle's running right at some of the pods, and when it cuts it, it dances, and on the ground they're going. So quite a bit of loss. But I only have probably 10-15 acres left of this piece, and then we're done. And then we're done with all the pulse. Then we'll jump into harvesting our winter wheat. We got a few acres of winter wheat in. It looks like it could be close to being ready, so we'll jump on that, and then the last will be spring wheat. So it's harvest. We're probably a third of the way after we finish the winter wheat, third to 40% done. The rest will be spring wheat. Kobe's been right along. He's been sleeping, and then he wakes up and it's his turn, then I go to sleep. So it's dog days of summer, and maybe it could be dad days too. Anyway, it'll be nice to be done with these lentils. They're kind of a pain. Yesterday, I had to stop, go back to the shop, and take the power washer because the stems have a little bit of moisture in them, and we're cutting right into the dirt, and they start building up on the sickle. Oh, that didn't sound good. I gotta check that one out. All right, I'll catch you in a bit to see what that was.
All right, back in the saddle. Here we go. So, combine gone through, greased, oiled, cutter bar cleaned up, new knives, guards, put a bunch of patches on the draper because I'm trying to milk it for what it's worth before we can replace it. One little holes in it. Windows are nice and washed. See how clean they are. So we're ready for some winter wheat. So I'm just kind of letting it warm up as I head up to my house site, because that field looks like it's the ripest, so we're gonna start that one first. But I'm gonna do some test cuts, get the moisture sample out, just to see, moisture tester, test the samples to see if we're within the parameters of harvestable wheat. So let's get there, let's find out. If it's a little wet, we gotta wait. But if it's ready to go, we'll go. Because we got some special stuff coming, and I need to know if the wheat's ready for it. Because this thing wants some wheat to eat. And it's not B-Spine or Clifford. It's a new dog on the block, so stay tuned.
Okay, I'm back. That was a slip clutch that was turning, and I think it was probably maybe a rock jammed the feeder chain enough to cause it to slip. I rotated it back, and evidently that rock probably fell into the rock trap, so everything seems to be smooth right now, so that's good. That was an easy fix. So for a while there, it rocked my world. So, all right, let me finish this, and then you guys can come back for our journey through the next variety of crop.
Okay, we're rolling. Got the combine settings mostly dialed in. Turn this fan back a little bit here. Got a little bit of grain in the back. Still got some peas in it, so I'm gonna let that kind of filter through the system, but I'm about ready to go back there and check a sample. This isn't very much. We just cut like 500 yards in, 400 yards, something like that. So we'll just get a little bit up here, a little bit of green in some areas here, so that'll help blend in, give me a good idea what the moisture is. But just looking out there, I don't see much green, but it's deceiving until you get in there and put it in the sampler. You just don't know.
Thought I'd show you how high they are, or how short the lentils are. So anyway, okay, so they're about 7 inches to the top of the plant. As you can see, there's lentils on the ground. Let me pull one up. See, there's a few lentils right in that area, so they're right about here, and we can cut it right about there. Well, what I was talking about when we're harvesting them is we can get so short that you can see where it cuts right about in the middle. There's some places where it's a little better, I'll drop it down and really drag the ground, but you know, it's wearing on the platform. As you can see right here, you know, it's skipping along the ground there. As you look here, yeah, but I just have a little corner left and we're done for 2024 lentils. But I thought I'd just show you that it had a potential. A lot of plants out there, but barely comes just to the top of my shoe.
All right, let's do a test. Shut her down, parking brake on. Where's my sampler? There it is. Let's go get some wheat, find out what it is. Oh yeah, I got a few bushels in there. I saw it right the last little bit, it was saying 25 to 35 bushels an acre, kind of jumping around. Just looking at this grain, I can tell you right now, it's smaller, light test weight. It's not gonna be real heavy. Looks good though. It's hard. I'd say it's probably ready, but let's find out. Here's a grasshopper for you guys. $12.6. It's ready to go. That'll work. 12.6. Says always do 3 tests, but I can tell you right now, it's ready. Well, there's this thing that happens when you've got a pile of farm kids in your new house and they have an excellent view of their dad in the big red combine harvesting just below them. And well, if I don't let them on this combine in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna have some serious breakdowns, probably including myself. So I gotta go over there and get the kids in the combine. So let's go pick up some munchkins for a ride. They have to do it. I can't let them go to bed without it tonight. The combine ride makes you sleep so much better that night.
Whoa.
All right, guys, first load of wheat of the year. First dump. What do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know? First winter wheat load.
I think we should get out of here.
Well, you guys are going to have to walk way to your house. It's so far away. Sky? What were you talking about? No way. Wow.
Oh, look behind.
Whoa, what's going on back there? What is it? Oh, no way. Yeah, I'll say. Okay, all right, well, let's keep going.
Just fitting the lentils, did some servicing on the combine, and we thought we'd try the winter wheat because it's getting really close. Well, what we tested, it's testing around 12, so I guess it's ready to roll, and that's what we're doing, isn't it, Kobe? Huh? He wants to correct me on that. He said it's summer wheat. We're not cutting it in the winter. Well, you do have a point there, Kobe. Yeah. You've got a sharp mind that matches your teeth. So anyway, yes, we're cutting it. It's making, what is it averaging here? I'd say in the 20s, something like that right now. and just trying to get the combine set, kind of get used to cutting wheat, the feel of the combine, you know, following the loss monitor, what's in the grain tank. As you can see, it's got great color, but loss is acceptable. Thrashing seems to be okay. I guess we'll keep tweaking on it. Yeah, you know, I could just put out on this channel, have a straw vote on what settings, but that would go against somebody's grain. So that's weak humor, isn't it? It's nice wheat for the conditions that we went through this summer. We had 8/10 of rain in June. That's our main growing season. That's when we got to have water. That's when the plants say, hey, I need a drink, I need a drink, I need to really guzzle. And it didn't happen. We got some showers, a total of about 8/10. That wasn't enough. May was just below average. And there was no sub-moisture, so you know, it's surprising how well the wheat did. We had a cool June. That was the only thing that saved our bacon. We don't raise bacon. Oh well, that was the saving grace, is that it was cool. So at least the crop could grow while it's cool. Anyway, yeah, see, there's some about 32, 33, 34, 35. Yeah, that was kind of a lower land. The higher areas are, you know, around 19, 20. So, anyway, winter wheat harvest has started for 2024. We don't have a lot of acres in, but it should be fun cutting. Wish you guys were along. Then I could jump in my pool.
All right, guys, it's time. Bedtime. Yeah, it's bedtime. We already got one guy about ready to fall asleep. Isn't that right, Sky? Yeah. It's time to go back out. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of stuff blowing up there. It's windy, isn't it? So far, so good. Getting this field locked out fast. What do we got here? 23, averaging 19. That side wasn't as good over there, but it's picking up as we get further down the hill. Yeah, it's not much of a hill. So, anyways, we'll see how tomorrow goes, but well, we're doing winter wheat. That's good. Winter wheat it is. A couple days of this, and then that big dog's gonna be here. Hope we have some crop for it.